This is my ColecoVision compatible computer, and in this video I'll talk about what I needed to do to get the controllers working. So I'll go over the electronics of what needed to be done. I'll also play a couple of games and I'll run the final test ROM, which actually tests out the controllers on each port and proves whether or not the controllers work. First of all, I'll play a couple of games, and I'm actually running the smaller cartridges than I've shown in previous videos. Although I can play ColecoVision games on these cartridges are actually intended for when I get the ZX81 mode of this computer running, and so I'll be running ZX81 games from these cartridges. So I'm using my development controller. So if you've seen in previous videos, I've got resin printed controllers, which I'm leaving to actually when I've got the project complete. So while I'm sort of knocking things around a bit, I'm using just like the draft copies of development items. So if I press 1, it starts the game. And this is one of the things I really like about the ColecoVision, is the arcade versions of the games seem to be really quite accurate to what you would play in the arcade. And I used to love playing Galaxians. It's probably my favourite game in the arcade. So as you can see, it's still, I haven't put colour modulation onto the actual AV board, but the actual display of the black and white image is nice and steady and pretty clear, which is really neat. So if I switch off the console and change the cartridge for, I think this one's Pac-Man. So it comes up, and after I've played Pac-Man, I'll run the final test cartridge. Also, the games which are arcade copies, they have pretty good sound effects as well. So that was Pac-Man. So this is my larger multi-game cartridge, which I use for the ColecoVisions, and I've got final test on item 11 on this cartridge. So if I plug this in, there's no case to align the cartridge with, so it takes a little bit of a guesswork as to how it aligns. That's better. So it goes through the ROM check, RAM check. It does a display check and a sound check test as well, and then it gives you an option to test the controllers. So now it shows the controllers, and you can rotate them in all directions and press all the buttons, and it will erase the buttons that you've pressed, so you can see that if there's anything which doesn't work. So that's controller 1. If I plug in the controller into control 2 port, and controller 2 works as well. So that's really neat. So there's not much more to do on this system. I mean, I've still got the colour encoding to do. I've still got to look at the reset circuit, because sometimes it doesn't reset properly. Although it's not too bad, it does work pretty much to the time. And also then I've got to look at getting ZX81 ROM working, getting hopefully Jupiter Ace ROM, although I'm still not sure. I'm still not sure if the Jupiter Ace ROM will be able to work, but hopefully it will be able to. And also I'm looking at getting CPM working as well, but that comes at the end of the project, I think. So I was hoping that controllers were going to work on this spin of the board because I didn't get a chance to look at them on the previous spin because it was just so messy. I needed to get a second spin of the board made up so that I could actually see what I'm doing when I was working on stuff. But as you can see, I've put a mod in here, and what I was doing was I thought I could get away with using a couple of transistors as a flip-flop, because when the controller is being read, the system either reads the joystick position or it reads the keypad buttons. It doesn't do both at once. It switches between which one it wants to do, which is how it gets to actually do it on the 9-pin connector. And so I thought I'll just use a couple of transistors, but that actually turned out not to be workable solution. So I've done what they do on other computers in the 80s. Is I've used a couple of NAND gates in a flip-flop orientation. That way the inputs are separate from the outputs, and that works just fine.
you